I've helped thousands of millionaires protect their wealth. And here's the truth about how they keep their kids rich. The families who stay wealthy for generations don't do it because of luck, investments, or business deals. They do it with a plan that quietly protects their kids long after they're gone. And I've seen what happens when families don't have that plan. It's chaos. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the exact system they use to make sure their rich kids stay rich. Here's what most people believe. They had more capital to start with. They invest better. They get more business opportunities. And yes, those help, but they're not enough. Because the truth is, many families with money lose it within 2 or 3 generations. There's even a saying for it. Shirtsleeves to shirtsleeves in 3 generations. Rich kids stay rich not because of the money, but because of the systems, the legal, emotional, and structural framework that protects and guides that money. Let's start with the first difference, systems over wealth. Wealthy families build estate systems, things like living trusts, holding companies, and clear succession plans. They make sure ownership doesn't get diluted every time a new heir is born. They use fractional shares or voting rules so the family business doesn't get torn apart. They also build behavioral systems, financial education from a young age, mentoring from parents and advisors, family councils that set expectations and accountability. And then there's protection systems, trust provisions that guard against divorces, creditors, and heirs who might spend recklessly. Layered planning, life insurance, irrevocable trust, and asset protection keeps wealth safe for the next generation. Here's a quick example. One family I worked with passed down a company, but included checks and balances in the trust. Heirs couldn't sell or drain assets without family approval. Another family required heirs to serve or contribute to the business before receiving any distributions. They built systems that preserved both money and responsibility. Wealth that lasts isn't built, it's managed. Now let's talk about the second key, mindset culture. In wealthy families that keep their wealth, values are treated as a form of capital. They teach responsibility, humility, and gratitude, not entitlement. Their family story sounds like this. We're caretakers, not owners. They see wealth as something to protect, not to spend. And when those lessons are reinforced generation after generation, the wealth doesn't just survive, it multiplies. On the other hand, families that lose everything often never built this emotional foundation. They gave money, but not meaning. They never prepared the next generation for failure, decision-making, or risk. And when life hits them, lawsuits, divorces, bad investments, there was no core holding them together. Mindset turns inheritance into legacy. The third key is structure. This is where legal design comes in. Rich families use advanced trust architecture, discretionary trusts instead of mandatory ones, generation-skipping trusts to avoid estate taxes, provisions that shield assets from ex-spouses or lawsuits. They use business agreements, rights of first refusal, buy-sell clauses, so no one can sell out the family business on a whim. They include distribution caps, limiting withdrawals so heirs can live comfortably, but the core wealth stays invested, and they update constantly. Trust reviews, annual family meetings, governance documents that evolve with new laws and new realities. Here's a real example. A multi-generation family trust required each heir to serve 5 years in the business and attend financial training before receiving their first distribution. One heir went through a messy divorce, but the trust protected their share. The wealth stayed in the family. That's structure doing its job. Structure is what keeps wealth from leaking. Now let's talk about why most families lose wealth. Number 1, overconfidence. They assume their kids will figure it out, so they never set up a plan. Number 2, weak family bonds. Without unity or shared values, money becomes a wedge instead of a glue. Number 3, too much access too early. Kids who inherit everything at 18 rarely know how to manage it. And number 4, external threats. Law changes, lawsuits, divorces, all of which a proper trust can help prevent. Here's the bottom line. Wealth by itself is fragile. Richness that lasts is built on systems, values, and structure. If you want your kids to stay rich, start building those foundations today, not later. Don't wait until a crisis forces your hand. I've seen too many families lose everything because they waited too long to plan. Download my free estate planning guide in the description below. It's how smart families start building generational wealth. I'm going to walk you through the first steps to building a plan that truly protects your family's future. And if this helped you see wealth in a new light, hit subscribe for more What the Rich Do secrets. And now I'll leave you with this question. Which of these 4 systems, legal, behavioral, cultural, or structural, do you think your family needs the most to work on? Tell me in the comments below. Your family's wealth isn't just money, it's a mission. Protect it like one.